What's up, guys? LQ here with the LQ review. I'm here to do kind of a dual comic book review here. So there are two comics that have recently come out that are based on franchises from when I was a kid. So you've got Batman '89. This is a sequel to the first Batman movie, starring Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson as the Joker. And then you've got Superman '78. This is a sequel to the Superman movie starring Christopher Reeve. These are two very different stories, kind of similar concepts, but two very different stories. Let's start talking about Batman '89. So Batman '89 was actually the one I was most looking forward to out of these two. Batman '89 is a foundational movie for me. You know, it was one of those movies that created my fandom for comics. I was reading comics before this, but like when this came out, I was like hooked at that point. So this story picks up, I believe, now there's not a whole lot of clarity on it, but I believe that this story picks up after the first Batman movie, but before Batman Returns. And the reason that I believe that is because the Joker's gang is still active. The Joker's gang is still active, and they're still committing crimes, and they're still, you know, out there doing stuff. You've got Michael Keaton's Batman trying to stop them. So, you know, they stayed pretty true to the comic, or not the comic, they stayed pretty true to the look of the character, and they also stayed pretty true to the way that Joker's goons dressed in the movie. Another thing that we get in this is we get Billy D. Williams, his likeness, back as Harvey Dent. And first of all, guys, it's awesome having the Batmobile back, right? Just awesome. But we get Billy D. Williams' likeness back as Harvey Dent. Michael Goh's likeness back as Alfred. That's cool. But Billy D. Williams definitely acts as an antagonist in this. He's very antagonistic towards Batman, and he tries to get Bruce Wayne to be antagonistic towards Batman as well. What I really liked about this is the fact that it's kind of runs pretty seamless with the movie. What I don't necessarily like about this is the fact that this is kind of existing in a world where Batman is not viewed as a hero. He's viewed as a bit of a monster himself. And Harvey Dent really wants to take him down. Now, I've seen covers from future issues. We know that Harvey Dent becomes Two-Face in this series, as was a promise that was not lived up to us in the movies. But for me, this story kind of, for me, it was kind of weak. I understand the direction that they're taking it in. I just would not have chosen that direction. So maybe it's going to end up being great. This is only one issue. But for me, this first issue had a lot of setup. And the setup was for a story that I wasn't particularly interested in. But who knows? Once Billy D. Williams, once his likeness becomes Two-Face and he becomes the main antagonist, this could really be a lot of fun. So we'll wait and see on that one. But so far, not entirely impressed. However, Superman '78 is a completely different side of the story. Superman '78, as far as I can tell, part 1 and 2 are canon in this. Maybe 3 and 4 are canon also, but I feel like this happens after the first two movies, before part 3. And I love having the Krypton from the the Metropolis from the 70s. I love having the style back. It's great. It's great having our old school Perry White back. How great is that? Chris Reeve's likeness as Superman, they captured that pretty well, and Clark Kent. And then we get a scenario where the old school Brainiac attacks. And, of course, with the old school Brainiac attacking, we get Chris Reeve's Superman responding to it. And it's just a great action sequence. It's a fun fight scene that kind of plays out as you would kind of expect a 70s comic book movie to play out. Kind of campy, but also trying to take it seriously. It kind of catches that Richard Donner feel very well. And then the robot monster says Brainiac is coming. And at the end, we see Brainiac himself, who has now learned that there is a Kryptonian on Earth, and he has to go and you know, capture him. So one thing that I do find fascinating is in the next issue, Superman is going to want to learn about this tech, this Brainiac tech. So who's he go to? In the next issue, he goes to Gene Hackman's Lex Luthor, who's probably in jail right now. So yeah, this was an excellent issue that captured the feel of the Superman 78, but it also captured the an interesting story that I would have wanted to have seen had they been able to make this movie back in that time period. This one was excellent. This one wasn't bad. It just wasn't necessarily what I wanted. This one was everything that I wanted. So I definitely recommend picking up both of them, especially if you're a fan of those older comic book adaptations. But for me, Superman 78 is the clear better story right now. So that's just my take on it. Have you read them? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Let me know in the comments down below. While you're down there commenting, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I put out a lot of content, and I want to make sure that you're up to date with everything that I'm doing. And as always, thank you so much for joining me right here at the LQ Review, where we get to talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that we love to talk about. Until next time, we'll see you guys later.